to welcome everyone to day one of 3 days full of content for builders. We are excited to have you. Today, we're going to be covering account fundamentals in CRM. Let's get started. And I am Brendan Reed. I am on our product marketing team. I will be your MC today. And we have Orion joining us, who will be doing our demo. Orion, why don't you give your intro?
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Orion. I'm a client onboarding specialist. So I'm on our onboarding team on accounts for the first 90 days, getting you all ramped up. And I'm so excited to be here and presenting.
Awesome. Thanks, Orion. So just some general housekeeping. I mentioned this at the beginning of our call, but I'd say log into Houzz Pro now so you can follow along with us. As you can see, we've got a pretty packed agenda today. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff. And for folks that are just getting started on Houzz Pro, there's a lot of good setup stuff that we are going to cover that I would really recommend doing it while we're talking about it. So just another plug for that. But in terms of our agenda, we've got a fun-filled day. In this session, we're going to cover all aspects of account management, setup, and integrations, plus contact and lead management, including how to set up team members, calendar integrations, and online payments, lead management and tracking best practices, how to customize lead sources, importing leads from any source, and how to use our new email marketing tool. And with that, Orion, let's start our demo.
So the first thing that we are going to review today is adding team members, subcontractors, and vendors to your Houzz Pro account, and you can invite them with an invitee link. This gear icon here is going to be the settings for your Houzz Pro account. I always like to go to see all settings just so we can see all of our setting options here. We're going to go ahead and click on Teams. Here you'll be able to see how many seats you have currently available for team members and subcontractors and vendors. Of course, depending on your package, this number may vary, and you can always add additional seats if needed. To invite a team member, you will go ahead and click Invite Team Member. You'll put in their first name, last name, and an email address. When you go to the next page, you will get to decide their permissions, so what your team members are able to have access to. Team members are typically going to be people within your organization, so they will have access to certain financial documents if you give them that access. This first section here is for leads. So lead management, are they able to communicate with those clients and create estimates and takeoffs for those clients? Within the project, are they able, again, to communicate with the clients, create invoices, change orders, and view those? Can they do purchase orders? You can also allow them to see the QuickBooks integration, run reports, and then view time and expenses. Lastly, they have access to the visual tools, so that 3D floor planner and mood boards. Once you click Invite, they will receive an email with an invitation link. They will click on that invitation link and create their own login. With this login, they can log in on pro.houzz.com on their browser. They can also log in from the app and do all of this business management directly through their smartphone or tablet. Let's say that you've invited someone, they didn't receive the link, and you need to resend it. Click on the ellipses. You can go ahead and click Edit. Make any changes. Once you save, it should resend. You can deactivate and you can fully remove them from this as well. With subcontractors and vendors, you'll just want to toggle over to this section here, and you'll go ahead and invite a subcontractor and vendor. The main difference here is subs will not have access to any of the financials, and you will have to invite them to specific projects in order for them to see the projects. Again, you'll put in their first name, last name, their email, and then you will assign them a role. On this next page, again, we have these permissions, so you can see what they will have access to. Of course, you will have to assign them to that project, and then you can add in a personal note. Again, they will receive an email with an invite link. They will have to create their own login. If you need to resend the invitation, you can resend it. You can always edit the permissions, and you can always remove them as well. This back to Houzz Pro settings, we can always go back to our settings. Again, you can always click on this gear icon and go back to all of your settings as well. The next topic is going to be the calendar and QuickBooks integrations. You can integrate your calendar with Houzz Pro so that your clients can actually schedule meetings with you directly. By doing this, you will click on Connect Calendar. I'm not sure, I don't think that you can see my pop-up here, but it will ask you what type of calendar you have, whether it's iCloud, Google, Office 365, Microsoft Exchange, and/or Outlook. You'll put in your calendar credentials there, and it will then connect your calendar. From here, you will be able to add the video conferencing via Google Meet. You can also do Teams, Zoom, and GoToMeeting.
Hey, Ryan, we do actually have one question. Jennifer's asking, what if all of our team members have the same email address? And I think that's for logins.
They will have to have different email addresses to be specific team members, but you could invite one and they could all use that same login. So essentially, once your calendar is linked, this will not be grayed out any longer. And then in this section here, you can actually create meeting types. So if it's a phone call, you can set this to 30 minutes. When you click on Edit Settings, you can actually change that. So if you want to set a phone call to 15 minutes. Same thing with video calls, on-site visits, and this Houzz Profile video consultation. You can even create your own meeting type. So if there's a follow-up, we can create that, and then we can go ahead and add that as a 15-minute follow-up. When the homeowner goes to select a meeting, they'll select a meeting type, and then your calendar will populate, and they will be able to schedule that with you. One question I get all the time is, when you integrate your calendar, what is the homeowner going to see? The homeowner will not see anything from your calendar. It will just show up as busy. So they won't see your soccer games, your doctor's appointments. They won't see anything. They'll just see that you're busy and that they're unable to book at that specific time. Going back to these settings again, for your QuickBooks integrations, you're going to click on Integrations. You can integrate your QuickBooks Online account. It does have to be QuickBooks Online. It is a one-way transfer of data from Houzz Pro to QuickBooks. QuickBooks will not transfer any information to Houzz Pro. There is a brief video here on setting up your QuickBooks Online account with your Houzz Pro account. And there are simple steps here. If you have any questions at all, you can always go to this help section here, and you can submit a support ticket. You will select QuickBooks Online, and then you can go ahead and schedule or request an appointment with one of our account consultants, and they'd be able to assist you with any in-depth questions that you may have.
I think this is super timely, especially with tax season quickly approaching. I can't believe we're already in September, but this is an awesome integration. If you're doing a lot of your tracking, estimates, payments, whatever you're tracking in Houzz Pro, pushing all of that information into QuickBooks, and we do it automatically. Once you do that integration, you don't have to worry about it again. You'll just really set it and forget it. It will save you some headaches. I often hear pros saying, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that we did that integration. So anyways, your accountant will thank you. Definitely check it out.
Yes, a lot of my accountants love that feature. Okay, if there's no questions, then we can go back to our settings.
Actually, Orion, we did have one more come in from Amy. She said, is the calendar only for clients to schedule, or can we schedule it for them?
The calendar integration is for the clients to see the calendar and schedule, but you can schedule anything on your calendar with that client. In the particular lead, you'll see that meeting link as well. I can go ahead and show that when we get to the leads. Okay, and then the next thing that a lot of my accounts absolutely love is the ability to take online payments through Houzz. You would just click into your online payment settings, and you would have to set up your banking information. Again, this will walk you through how to set it up. You'll just connect your checking account information. Again, you get paid within 2 to 3 business days typically. The ACH transaction fee, which is available for our US professionals, is 1%. Credit card transaction fee is 3.1%. When you are setting up your online payments, you do have the option to offset this to the client. When the client goes to make a payment, they will have the option to select credit card or ACH, and they will see those rates. If you don't want to offset that to the client while you're setting this up, I'm sure many of you have your own business markup. You need to make your money at the end of the day. You can add that onto the estimate. You can always add that as an additional markup. That is something that will actually be covered on the Academy tomorrow. So if you're interested in estimates and markups, I would definitely recommend attending that Academy as well. And then just to go back to our settings. To set up your tax rates that you would apply on estimates and invoices, you're going to go into this financial accounting settings section. And in here, you can create your tax rates. There are different tax rates for different cities, counties, just everywhere. So what you're going to do is just go ahead and add your sales tax. The name will typically be the city, the rate, so you put in whatever that percentage is. And then the agency, I put in the state. Once I save that, this is now another tax rate on my account. If you have a default, you can always go ahead and set this as a default. If you need to archive a tax rate, you can go ahead and archive it. When you are creating an estimate or an invoice and you're associating tax on that estimate or invoice, you will have the option to select that tax rate. Again, that is something that will be covered on the Houzz Pro Academy tomorrow. Are there any questions that we have on the online payments and setting up your tax rates?
Doesn't look like we have anything for tax or online payments at this point. I did see a question from Stephanie. She was just kind of curious, back to the calendar linking, what are we linking in particular? And I think the question also is, where are people, like leads, basically trying to book an appointment with you? Is it through like your Houzz profile, for example? Where is that showing up?
So when you set up your calendar, the video meetings, you can link to your Houzz profile. So they would be able to schedule that meeting that way. And then, of course, once the project match comes through, you're connecting with that homeowner. Within those emails, we'll have your calendar link.
And Stephanie, it's really to save you some time versus going back and forth with the lead saying, hey, this is when I'm available. And they're like, yeah, great. I'm also available these few times. They can just see when you're available and then book a time when they're also available. And honestly, it saves a lot of headache and back and forth. So it's a nice addition.
Yes. And then with that, that kind of takes us into the lead management and tracking. So perfect segue there. Leads, all leads. This is taking us into our client relationship manager, where we can manage all of the leads that we have, whether they're coming from Houzz, whether they're your leads that you are inputting in the system here. With leads, you can always go ahead and add leads. You can create a new lead. You can put in the client name. And then you can add in additional client details here. So if you're just adding this entry into the system, once you put this in, it will all be captured. Under your lead details, you can go ahead and add in additional lead information, which will help in the tracking. You can add in your lead source, and we have quite a few to choose from. Let's say that you need to add in an additional source. You can actually manage your lead sources. Once you select, let's say, referral. If you wanted to add in client referral, pro referral, this is all here for you. But if you have a specific business that might be adding you referrals, you can add that in here. And once you click the check mark here, it will be added into your lead source selection. You can add in an expected start date, your revenue, profit, budget, project type. This isn't required. At the bare minimum, you're going to need a client name and that lead name. The more information that you add here, we can actually track all of that data, which I will show in a moment. Let's say that you wanted to assign the lead to one of your team members or maybe a sub or vendor. You can always assign those here. Once you click create, it will create a new line item for that lead. Some other ways that you can actually import leads as well is you can import them from an email. You would just copy this email address, send the potential client, and then it will input into your lead dashboard. You can also import them from a file. This is a CSV file, and there is a template to follow. Something to note is that you want to follow this template to the exact T, even down to the capitalizations. If any of the headers are off, it won't pull in correctly. But once you have that CSV file, just drag and drop it here, and it will create all of those line items for you within your client relationship manager.
Hey, Ryan, just to make sure that point. So you were just saying that there's the template in there that you can download and use, save you a little bit of headache so you don't have to worry about matching up column names. So just reference that template.
Exactly. And you'll just want to make sure that it's a CSV file. If you're currently in an Excel file, you should be able, when you go to save the file, to change the file to a CSV file, and then you can go ahead and upload it into Houzz Pro.
Got it. Thank you for that.
Yes, of course. And then we can click into one of my leads just to go through some lead management. When you are in your lead, and I apologize, this is my demo account, so I'm not going to have real client information here. But you will have the location. Sometimes there's a full address. At the minimum, there will be a zip code for that client. There will also be a phone number here as well. Of course, if you're inputting this information, it'll be whatever information you input will be showing up here as the client details. Here are these quick create options. So meeting, if I connect in my calendar, we can go ahead and schedule directly from this screen. And then you have these quick options as well. If I need to create an estimate, create a note, call log, a takeoff. Do I want to do a floor plan? So you have those quick access links that are just there for ease of use.
And Orion, that just answers the, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there. But we had the question earlier about, hey, can I book a meeting for my lead for them? Like you were just showing us a second ago, and make sure that we capture that for a second here. Like that's where you would actually go and book the meeting for them.
Correct. Yes. And then here again on this right-hand side, this is going to be all of the lead information that we see. The lead stage, when you're inputting new entries, you're receiving inquiries, it's always going to come in as new. You can change this to followed up. If you connected with that homeowner, you can change that as well. Scheduled a meeting, sent an estimate. This is, I find, super helpful. A lot of my accounts love this because actually on that main screen, you can filter through to see what stage are these leads in? Who do I need to still reach out to? Who have I connected with? If I've sent an estimate, have they sent that back to me? Have they approved it? So it just really helps you manage the stage of each lead. Again, lead owners, you can always assign a lead at any point in time. And then lead details. This would be anything that you either input when you are creating that lead. If you are on our ultimate package and you are receiving leads through Houzz, it will give you that source. What did that homeowner input? And of course, if it is a Houzz lead, you can always evaluate it. I tell all of my ultimate clients, please evaluate the leads. We really want to make sure that we're sending good quality leads, especially in my position. It's super helpful for me. If they're not a fit, we can always update settings. So evaluate anything that you can.
Ryan, we did have a question real quick from Penny. She was wondering about invoicing, and she asked basically, do I need to convert a lead to a project before sending them an invoice? And I think it's my understanding that if you do any kind of invoicing upfront for tax purposes, it's almost seemed like a deposit. And so I think, yes, if you're collecting a deposit, it's okay to do it at the lead phase before it's converted to a project. But if you're past that, I definitely say convert it to a project, create that invoice, and then send that payment request. And, again, like Ryan was saying earlier, we're going to get a lot more into like estimates and invoicing tomorrow. So definitely join us for that. We're going to take a big deep dive on that because you can create an estimate, convert it to an invoice, save yourself some time. But just giving you an idea now about kind of best practices for invoicing and to hopefully answer your question, Penny.
Yes. And going off of Brendan, to create a true invoice, it would have to be a project, but not to worry. If you're creating estimates in the lead stage, once you convert it to a project, everything will transfer over with the lead. So you'll be able to easily create that invoice. On this left-hand side, I can't tell my directions today, you have, again, these quick links here. So we're on the overview. If we click into messages, here we will be able to see the entire message thread between us and this homeowner. You can send the homeowner emails or text messages. They will have to be opted into the Houzz SMS texting program to receive the texts through Houzz Pro, but you can send them an email to whichever email you input or the client input. The great thing about this as well is you can actually create templates for your responses. You would just click on templates. There's a few system templates, interested, unavailable, not a fit, but you can go ahead and customize templates. You'll just click create new, name the template. You can add it as a quick reply, so it'll be an option for you to just quickly select. And then you'll go ahead and start typing in your content. Once you save and select, that message will then be in this message box here, but it will also be a template for you to use when you're sending future messages. Again, just something to help streamline your business and just give you more time back in your day. And then here we can see that this message was from 256 days ago. So it's alerting me, do I need to snooze this, archive this? What's going on with this message? So Houzz Pro will notify you. Going into notes, you can log notes on a particular lead. So let's say that you had a consultation and you want to just write some notes. You can create a new note. You can add in, the date will be here for you in the time that you're creating that note, but add in any kind of notes that you need, anything to reference. Maybe something the homeowner said where you want to build that relationship and you don't want to forget that they're going on vacation in a couple weeks and you're going to ask them about it. Anything you can add here. We also have a call log. So if you had a phone call, this will help you differentiate, was this an in-person visit or was I actually on the phone with this homeowner? There are a few quick answers that you can add as to what happened on this call. And then you can go ahead and write, again, additional notes as to what happened on this phone call. Anything that you might want to keep note of, you can add in here. Of course, you can always go ahead and create new entries at any point in time. This file section, if you need to upload any files pertaining to this lead, you would just go ahead and click Upload Files, and then you can pull those in from your browser. You can also do this from the app as well. Within the lead, you can create a takeoff and you can create estimates. I'm not going to go quite into that today because that is going to be covered during the Academy tomorrow, but you can do all of this fully from the lead stage. Under More Actions, you can always print the lead if you want to see it on a piece of paper in front of you, you can print this. You can snooze a lead. So let's say that you need to remind yourself in a week's time to reach out to this homeowner. When you snooze, you'll be able to select 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, or you can go ahead and put in a customized date. You will then receive a notification that you need to reach out to them. So just a way to keep yourself on top of your business. You can archive a lead, so that will then be not in your active leads, just archived. You can also fully delete the entry. One thing to note, when you delete a lead, there's no way to get it back. So just be sure that you want to delete it. You don't want any of the information. If not, I always recommend just archive the lead. That way you still have the information within Houzz Pro.
Hey, Ryan, where would we find archived leads? And apologies if you're going to cover that, but I was just curious.
Yeah, no worries. I will definitely cover that just real quickly on this screen right here, this Convert to Project button. This is where you'll click to convert this to a project. Once you click Confirm, your lead will turn into a WAN lead, which I will show right now with that archive. And then it will move under your Project tab. It will no longer be under the Lead tab. You can still access it, but it will take you to the Project tab. If you ever want to go back to your lead dashboard, just click All Leads at the top here. So you'll see down at the bottom, this is where all of our archived leads are. And then this is going to be the lead stages. So if I want to look at my new leads, I can quickly filter that. How many leads have I followed up on? And then these are my WAN leads. If I go ahead and click on this, it will then take me to the project because it's no longer a lead. So it'll just reroute me into the project section here. Also, when you are on active, you can filter by lead source. So if you want to only look at your Houzz Project Match leads, your Facebook leads, you can go ahead and create that filter and it will pull up everything in that filter. If you want to look up lead owners, if you've assigned this to certain team members or a team member wants to go and see what leads am I responsible for, they'll be able to filter that. Once they're assigned, you'll actually have the names here. You can go ahead and do that. And then project types, let's say that you've input the project type, you can also filter by this in this section here. So this is a great tool where you can just go ahead and filter out. And then of course, just go ahead and clear the filters and then it will bring you back to the full lead dashboard.
You know, Ryan, one thing I want to point out too, because I know people are probably going to have questions after this webinar. One thing I'd recommend, you see that little pro tips button at the top of leads in here. If you ever need a reminder, and like I know I always do because there's a lot in Houzz Pro, there's a lot of powerful features there. Click on that pro tips link. There's a video that will give you a quick little tutorial if you need a reminder. But there's also a lot of great help articles in there. I think you'd be surprised, but if you go and check out this section, there's a lot of FAQs. You know, we try to collect as many questions as you send us. We'll try to answer them in our help articles. So check those out. We've probably added something to a help article to hopefully answer your question. But again, really good resources in there if you ever get stuck.
Yes. Yes. Another great resource is the help section as well. The help center that Brendan was talking about. You have video tutorials, webinars, the learn articles. There's a lot of information in Houzz Pro, but there's also a lot of places to find answers to the questions that you may have. And then with managing leads, if you go into marketing and you go into your advertising insights, you will actually get to see a lead breakdown here. We've actually just recently revamped this. So when you input leads into your CRM and you input information, you will have all of that here. So I can see, okay, Houzz leads. How many lead sources did I not assign? I'm not doing my due diligence in my account. And it will break this down for you. If I had my estimated revenue input on my leads, my estimated profit, it would break all of this down. So I would basically have this overview of how my business is performing. The more information that you put in, the more information and data that you will be able to see here. Of course, again, quick tutorial on viewing this and brings you right to that help center. So if you have any questions, as Brendan mentioned, there's always a link for help on each page.
Lots of powerful stuff in leads. This is really exciting. I don't know that I've ever gotten like this full breakdown of everything that's really in leads. You get it's like full CRM essentially to manage everyone that you're talking to, all your business, all your projects. That's awesome.
It is. And then the final topic of today is the email marketing campaigns. This is one of our newer features. I have a lot of accounts that absolutely love this. It's a way that you can keep in touch with your clients, keep them up to date on what's going on. Maybe you have a promotion coming up. Maybe there's a season change and you're going to be offering a different service. It's a great way, again, just to keep in touch with your clients. Under marketing, you'll see email marketing. If this is not available to you, it could also depend on what package you're on. It's always something that your onboarding specialist, client support team can discuss further with you if you have that lock button there.
The one thing I really like about email marketing too, outside of the templates that are just kind of ready to go for the most part, is staying top of mind with clients. I have this contractor that I personally work with on my house projects, and he's really good about sending email reminders every once in a while. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I've had this project I've been thinking about, like I wanted to add some appliance to my kitchen. And he had sent me an email. And I was like, maybe I'll just do that now. So it's just a good way to stay top of mind with your clients. I know all of you probably have no issue with business coming in. I know we're all really, really busy, but for those times of years where it does slow down, it's nice to have that pipeline. And this is a great way to stay top of mind with leads.
Yes. I actually had a call with an account today who's a landscaper, and he's on the East Coast. It's about to be winter, and he really heavily focuses on snow removal during the winter. And so I said, hey, why don't we send out an email campaign before the winter comes? Just you got to be top of mind and just remind people it's coming, and it's coming quickly. We're already at the end of September, which is absolutely insane. First thing I can go into is creating an email list for this campaign. You can create an email list by clicking this Create Email List button. Your system list, so these will be lists that you've kind of either already created or just the contacts within your account. So leads, I have 13 contacts in my leads. I've added 22 clients, so I can select from this. And then I can also send out to vendors as well. But I'm going to go ahead and create a new email list. I'm going to create my email list name. So this is what this is going to look like for you. You can either add contact up here or here. So there's two places for you to do this. When you add a new contact, you can add from an existing list. This will bring you to either your existing email lists or from, again, those system lists that we had looked at. You can also import from a file. Again, this is going to be that CSV file. It will ask you what list this is going to be added to. So if I want to add it to clients, I'll just have to click continue. Now it will give me access to this template. Again, just want to make sure that we're following the template exactly down to capitalizations, even spaces between the words. And then you just upload this file. It will pull in all of those contacts for you, line item by line item. You can create new contacts manually. You'll just, again, have to add in that contact type. Once you do that, it will pop up this contact box. You can add in the client name. You will need their name, their email address, and a phone number. I believe you need an address as well to pull it in, and then you'll just click save. This internal notes option actually I think is great. If you have anything about this client, you've worked with them on certain projects or anything you want to remind yourself on, you can add in internal notes to each and every client that you're adding, subs, vendors, any contact that you're adding in here. And then you can also import from Gmail. Again, you'll have to associate it with lead or client, and then you can go ahead and import a contact list from your Gmail account. Template section here. So this is going to be your email marketing templates. Once we've created that list, then we want to go ahead and look at our templates as well to see what templates do we have available, what have we already created. Your templates will be under My Templates. Houzz Pro templates will be the system templates that you can pull from. Just as you saw under My Templates, I have some that are already created. I actually just went to a Houzz Pro template, put in my information, and save that as my own template. Let's say that we want to go ahead and request some client feedback. We want some client feedback on our Houzz Pro account, and that's the email marketing campaign that we want to put forward. You'll go ahead and click onto this template, and then you can create this campaign. You will need to create a campaign name, and then the type you can add in as well. You can always click other if it's none of these options. Once you create this, you will now be able to edit this template. The template will kind of walk you through how to do it. It's very user-friendly. Up top, you'll see client review. So that's our campaign. We can always edit that if we need to. Here it will tell you we need to upload our logo. So we can go ahead and click on this box. If I don't want my logo, I can always delete it. I can duplicate it if I want. But on the right-hand side here, I can go ahead and upload my logo. And then you can also toggle between the desktop view and the mobile view. I know a lot of people open emails on their phone. So if you ever want to see what it looks like, you can always toggle between those two views. You can always update the width here. So you have all these options on this right-hand side with the view that you're looking at. And then here, the image link. I always recommend if you have a website or if you want to link to your Houzz Pro account, put in that URL here. If a homeowner is looking at it on their phone, you want them to be able to go to your website in as many places as possible. So just adding in that link, you'll be able to link any image. And then if you want to change any images that you have, so this is already kind of all boxed out for me. I can always upload a different image here, or if I want to leave this image, I can go ahead and leave it. Completely up to you. Again, you can always add in this link. So if you wanted to add that review link, we're asking for review requests. You can add that in here. And then with this, you can have it open in the same tab or new tab. I always say new tab. That way it doesn't take them away from the email that they're looking at. They can just go right back to it. When you click into the text box, you'll see the text options up here. We can go ahead and make this left justified. Can do it centered, right. So you can really kind of set up this text. We can change the fonts here. We can always change the size as well. If you want to link, you can hyperlink a certain word. So if I wanted to hyperlink this, I can go ahead and type in houzz.com. And now they can go ahead and click on this word and it will take them to houzz.com. In the body of the email, something that I love is that we add in that contact name, adding in your business name. So you don't have to go into each and every one. It personalizes this message for the client. So when you're uploading your client lists, it's always important to have those names correctly spelled. I want to make sure that, again, we are making that very personable with the client that we're sending it to. In each of the templates, there will be text that's already in here. You can leave the text. You can write your own verbiage. You can really just kind of create this however you would like. This write a review link. So of course we can go ahead. It will link with the review request. It will link directly to your profile. So you won't have to manually input that link. But if you needed to input any other link, you can always do that here. Then we get to actually one of my favorite parts of our template is linking your social media platforms. I know a lot of my accounts are active on social media and they want to make sure that they're linked. Do you have a Facebook page? Do you want to link to your house profile, your Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube? You can link to any of your social media pages. Once you select this box here, all of your social links will pop up. So you can go ahead and add in those URLs. Let's say that I don't have a YouTube. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. But I want to add my Twitter. I can add in my Twitter. So you have these options down here. You can really add whichever social media links you'd like. And again, you'll just put in that URL here. That way, when they click on any of those links, it will take them to your respective social media pages. Once you've created all of these links, let's say you added in all the social media links and you don't want to have to redo that again when you're sending out more review requests, you can actually add this template that you have edited into your templates. You'll just add to your template, create that template name, click create, and now you'll have the option to search under your templates instead of the house templates. This will come up and you can create campaigns from templates that you've created previously. If you are ready to go ahead and send this template, you've made all of your changes. We've checked that mobile view. We're happy with how things look. Continue to send. And then again, it's going to give you kind of a preview, and then we can go ahead and select the list that we will send this to. So I can go ahead and connect this to my Gmail. So it's sending directly from my Gmail account, or it will send from the email address that is linked to the account. And then here I can select my recipient. So I'll go ahead and add one of these lists. And you can actually add multiple lists, which is great. Let's say that I want to send it to clients and leads. I can send it to as many of those lists that I've created as I'd like. If I need to remove one, I can just quickly remove it here. You can create your own subject line. And then if you'd like a pre-header, you can do that. That's optional. And then this is the best thing, I think, is sending test emails. In my previous marketing life, I would help with a lot of the email marketing campaigns, and test emails are your best friend. You just want to make sure that everything, all the links are working correctly. Everything is coming in correctly. So I can go ahead and send this test email to myself, and I will go ahead and receive that. Let's see. Once I send that test email, I will receive that in my inbox. I can review everything, click on every single link, make sure that everything came in correctly. And then once I've done that, I can go ahead and click send campaign. If one of the links is incorrect, just go right back to edit, and then we can go and make those changes and then just walk through those same steps to send out the email campaign. And that's how you send your first email marketing campaign, staying in touch with your clients. As Brendan said, just staying top of mind.
I love that we have this feature now. I feel like you could truly get rid of, like if you have a MailChimp account, for example, like one less thing that you have to pay for every single month. You can just do it all in Houzz Pro, or like having to figure out like a mail merge with like an Excel file, which we all know is like pretty painful, just using the email marketing tool in Houzz Pro instead. And it feels very user friendly. Like what you just showed us was awesome. And I love that you can connect your Gmail. I mean, it's so seamless, it feels like.
Yes. And something to note as well, if you're using any of these tools, if you have questions on anything, we are here 100% for your support. Not only do you have video tutorials, the help center, you can always call our support line. Our support team is ready and willing to assist with any questions that you have. They are in the office from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. So definitely take advantage of them. If you have your client success manager or your onboarding specialist, you'll have their information. Their email address will show up here. You'll have a link to their calendar. You can always schedule time with them, reach out to them. I know I tell all of my accounts, please let me know any questions you have. I want you to utilize all of this software. It's wonderful for just managing your business. So any questions, we're all here and willing to help. Awesome. Thank you for that demo, Orion. That was a lot of content, but that was really, really helpful. We'll spend some time now doing some QA. If you got any questions, feel free to send them our way. Orion, one question I did see pop up was around offsetting transaction fees.
to clients. I know that's an option that we have for that convenience fee. Could you talk a little bit about that? I'm not sure if you could maybe quickly show us where we could do that. I think that might be helpful. If not, don't worry about it.
I can show you exactly where to go to set it up. I can't walk through the setup of an online payment, but I can definitely walk through where you can find that again. When you go to this gear icon, I always go to see all settings. I love seeing all the settings. Online payments here. When you set it up, you'll just get started. And then it will be an option. There will be a box where you can select to offset it to the client. If you have both ACH and credit card set up on your account, when a client receives an estimate or an invoice, they'll have an option to pay now, and they will get to select either credit card or ACH. If the convenience fee is offset to the client, they'll see, okay, 3.1%, and then they'll see ACH is discounted at 1%. So they will receive that notification. Again, if you add a markup on any of your estimates or invoices, I know a lot of my accounts have their own internal markups that they use. You can either show that on the estimate, or you can always hide that from view on whatever you're sending to that client.
Got it. Thank you for that. And we're going to go into a little bit more on protecting your bottom line tomorrow. Like Loren was just saying, a markup. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in an estimate invoice to make sure that you're covering that. So don't worry, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. It looks like, I think Amy just had a question about creating lists for the email marketing tool. Could you show us again where we would create a list for email marketing?
Of course. Let me just go back to our email marketing. So when you're on Houzz Pro, you're just going to click on marketing, go to email marketing. From here, you will select lists on this left-hand side. And then we're just going to want to create an email list. You'll just have to name that. Once you click create, then you have the option to either create from an existing list, import that file, manually add your contacts, or import them from your Gmail account.
Oh, it looks like we got maybe one final question here from Penny. Penny's asking, how do you bring in contacts from Outlook to make an email list?
So we don't have a way currently to transfer them directly to Houzz Pro from Outlook. And to be 100% candid, I'm not too familiar with Outlook. But if you can export your contacts from Outlook, then the best way would be to do it through this template, import it from a file, just import that information. Again, I'm not sure how Outlook exports it, but if it exports it into an Excel file, you can probably just rearrange that file to match these columns, go ahead and change that to a CSV file, and then you can go ahead and upload it to your Houzz Pro account.
You were also talking about all of our resources that you can find under help. I frequent our help center. There's so much good content in there whenever I forget how to use one feature, because there's a lot. Honestly, and we're all human. I can't remember everything that we have in Houzz Pro. So that help center is your friend, our team. We are your friends. Let us know. We're here to help you. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully this was helpful, and we will see you tomorrow.